want to grab me and all this stuff, man.
Hey, unhand me. You know what I mean?
Unhand me now.
Unhand me.
We just lucky Cam came. Hey, he might have walked over here to look for us and be like, hey, I can't.
Yeah, y'all lying to me this whole time. You guys are not doing an interview.
Yeah, not doing the pivot.
Hold up, limitless. Take a stomach, got pinning it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling, got me up. On the mission, got me up. Knowing me, I got the key. Only vision I can trust. Trust, limitless. Take a stomach, got pinning it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant.
Cam Bynum, Shannon Crowder, Fred Taylor, I'm Ryan Clark, Pivot Fam. Thank you guys for pivoting with us on the training camp tour. Cam, man, I mean, it's something we've been wanting to do. I think your story is fascinating, you know, from being an undersized football player who had to grow into himself, becoming a star in Minnesota, and also kind of the king of celebrations.
Yes, sir.
As well, we'll get to it, man. But you really popped off my radar as a person, man. I think it was October of 23, after the game. You told the story about trying to get your wife here to the States. You know, you guys got married in the Philippines, and you met in the Philippines. You were working on doing that. Why did you feel the need to tell the world to ask for help in getting your wife here?
I just think it was important just for people to know what's going on, not just for our story, but for a lot of Filipinos, that's everybody's story, like their family, or whether it's long distance relationships, or just trying to make a living for themselves, trying to, you know, I didn't know when I met her that she just couldn't come over here. I'm like, you come to a game. She's like, I literally can't, like, you need a visa. So really going through the whole situation of us applying for her to get her visa and getting denied so many times, I was like, okay. I told her before the season, after she got denied the second time to be able to come to the U.S., I said, I'm gonna make a play in one of these big games, and I'm going on live TV. I said this before season, so it was just a matter of time. And it was just a God thing that it happened on ESPN on the Monday night game against the Niners. They're the best team in the league at the time, so me being able to get 2 picks, I'm like, this is the platform that I'm gonna be able to get my opportunity to ask for help, because I'm like, we got denied to get her to the States twice, so we had to do something.
Yeah.
We got to switch.
Oh, yeah, switch?
Fine. Listen.
Light skin, baby.
Wow. Hey, that's crazy.
They need to bring some light in here.
They had to move me because of the dark skin? That's crazy. Cam, but
Put that down here. Set it up.
didn't the man say we got to stop playing? Like,
My
we got to
bad.
act like grown-ups?
My bad.
Cam, I want to say, though, the best team in the league, 2 picks, you get an opportunity to speak. Like, that's almost a moment to be like, hey, I'm Cam Bynum. I've arrived.
Right.
Especially someone that had the fight of becoming a player the way that you have. I think what you did show that, like, life is bigger than ball.
For sure.
How important was that for you then, that you totally kind of stepped away or misdirected from the game you had to talk about that?
Yeah, I just think it's important for people to know what's going on behind football. Like, you know, I'm over there I did the worm after getting those interceptions, having all that fun. But when it got serious after the game, I'm like, yeah, we've been married this whole time, and my wife is not here. I'm having to do 2 football seasons at the time, long distance. And, you know, people may not see the struggle on the outside that we were going through as far as being long distance and me having to fly there on the bye week. Like, that's how serious it was. Like, bye weeks, I was flying out to the Philippines for those 3 days just to see my wife. And just going through that and people realizing, okay, yeah, he's happy on the outside. And I was happy behind closed doors, but a lot of people didn't understand the struggle that we had to go through. It just, you know, my wife being on the other side of the world. And we knew what we were getting into when we got married, but it was just a different type of, you know, I wouldn't say sadness, because we're still happy. We're just grateful just to have our marriage and a healthy marriage and everything. And when you really got down to it, it was tough being able to, you know, being on FaceTime, me going through and watching film, doing my whole routine, all the extra work, but still having to manage being able to spend time together, long distance, FaceTime and everything with the time difference. So there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes that a lot of people didn't know. But more than anything, more than me looking for sympathy, it was more trying to tell the story that a lot of Filipinos are going through, and a lot of people are going through the same thing I'm going through. And I'm a football player, so people notice that, okay, he's a celebrity. But for me, I'm like, millions of other people are going through the same struggle I was.
I feel this way getting global entry and TSA pre-check, because I'd be like, bro,
Exactly.
I'm rich.
What do you mean I can't buy a plane ticket?
There was no steps that your fame or money or any influence you had could make to get that done faster.
Nothing. We tried everything. I went to the White House, met with the vice president, met with the president of the Philippines, and they said, we'll try and help, but just all those things, it's like we still had to go through the process. One thing about it, they're like, the reality of it, so many people are going through it, so it's like, okay, you're an NFL player. What does that matter? Let's see her application. Let's see the application. And it ended up, at the end of it, once it did go global, then we had a lot more help once it did happen after that game, but we still had to do another application. She still had to go in person, do another interview. So I'm like, yeah, everybody knows about it, but we still had to follow through with the process. So it was also cool the way that we didn't have, it was humbling that we didn't have just special treatment, being able to, just skip the line and just get our visa, especially me knowing that a lot of people are going through the same struggle.
Cam, let's pivot for a minute and talk about the switch, man. You're in Indy now from Minnesota.
Yes, sir.
The switch from 24 to 0.
Yep.
Second time this training camp tour, we have somebody switch from their jersey number to 0. Gibbs, Jameer just changed to 0 too. How has it been, since the switch, and why 0?
It's been good. I'll start with the switch. Just moving a different place. A lot of new things in my life. Just had a baby. Really being able to, have a fresh start. So everything feels new, which feels refreshing for me. 4 great, amazing years in Minnesota, being able to, start my career there, just have so many good memories going through it. But for me right now, I'm like, this is cool having a fresh start, being able to come in and be expected to be a leader and called to a higher standard, being a leader on a new team. So I've been enjoying it. Then switching to 0 was really, I'll try and make up a cool story, but reality, this is the best number that we could find. I got number 27 at first. But then I begged, and then they said we can go single digits, because normally the Colts don't do single digits. Stephon Gilmore was the only defensive player in the Colts history to get a single digit, so we begged, and then me and Mooney Ward were able to get single digits. So this is the best. I'll be real, this is the best number, but right now I'm gonna make up a good story though.
It's good when the two best free agent DBs though both want single digits.
Exactly.
Talk about the transition now. You played, in my opinion, with the Hall of Famer in Harrison Smith. I believe he's one of the best safeties of this era. Just extremely instinctive, playmaker, great tackler. You got to learn with him, Brian Flores.
Yeah.
Now you're going to be expected to bring some of those things you learned throughout your 4 years in Minnesota after being drafted to the Indianapolis Colts.
Right.
And you bring over Mooney Ward as well, because that was a position in the secondary that they wanted to bolster. What are you expecting from yourself now that you've become a leader in Indy?
I think the biggest thing I learned in Minnesota is just being a smart football player. And that's the number one thing I want to bring here to Indy, being a leader on this defensive football IQ. I don't think there's so many different disguises we can do, so many different coverages. I can go up to my coach and say, let's put this in. But for me, it's like, nah, I just want to be able to instill the fact that we need to come out here and we got to play smart. I'm talking like splits, down the distance, all the little, like the game within the game. That's what I want to be able to bring my knowledge to be a leader and be like, okay, guys, this is what we need to be thinking about and communicating every single play. And that's something I learned in Minnesota with Harry. It was like every single thing, he had a reason why he did every single thing. You watch the tape and it seems like he's just freelancing out there, but there's a rhyme and a reason. So coming here as a leader, I want to be able to learn the defense well enough to where I can, understand how much freedom I have within my job, and then empower everybody else on the whole defense to be able to think the same way, where we can all look like we're freelancing, but we're just playing together and playing fast, where we're seeing one thing, we're all seeing the same thing, we're able to play fast. And I think as a safety, that's something I got to bring, and that's the standard that I have to bring as a safety, being, the smartest on the field, the guy that's communicating the most, technique, everything has to be on point, especially me being a free agent coming in here. I want to be able to set the standard by example first, and then be able to bring that. Now everybody's playing up to a higher standard.
How good of a player do you have to be to do all the dances you do and people not think it's too much? Because I was so scared to get beat that I was like, man, I can't work on these dances through the week, right? And talk about it's Parent Trap, it's white girls, like it's all these different things. Like, when did you start to feel comfortable enough to say, hey, Josh, like, Metellus, during the week, we gonna work on these dances because I know we gonna make a play and it's gonna be okay if we do that?
I've been doing this stuff since high school, clowning, because my high school, I was in California, so that's big time high school ball. So we were on TV, so I'm always finding the recording button on the camera that's recording, so I'd always do goofy stuff in the camera. But so since then, it was always on my mind to be able to have fun out there. So when we got to the league and, we started making plays, we're like, we work way too hard to not be able to celebrate and have fun like the offense has fun. Just our whole mindset is like, okay, we're going to earn our right to have fun. If the offense can score or do a dance, I'm like, why can't the defense? It's way harder to get a turnover on defense than it is to score a touchdown on offense. There's, 5-6 touchdowns on average every single game,
Yeah.
And especially now with the offenses being so high-powered. So on defense, our mindset is if we made a play, I don't care. We're putting it in a team meeting. We're doing everything. We're having meetings about celebrations because if we're planning something to have fun, we're going to make it happen. And we had the most interceptions last year in Minnesota, and we were one of the best defenses in the league simply off the fact that we were out there having fun.
Yeah.
Hey, Cam, I already asked you, though, any pushback? Because, like that, you 20, I think you right in the middle because we're 40. Mm-hmm. You got these little 20-year-olds you playing with now.
Right.
But you being 27, I think you're in the middle of that old school football, but you a monster now. You be out there knocking bitches out.
Knock somebody out.
But you play in personal brand and everybody knows you. Is there any pushback was there any pushback in Minnesota? Now with the Colts, we're like, Cam, you gotta chill out.
Never. The one thing our coach told us, B-Flow, he always told us, like, he's chewed us out more for not celebrating more than us doing too many celebrations.
Wow.
It got to that point of that's our standard. Because we're having fun, we're making plays, and if we're making plays, you guys earn the right to celebrate. So even when we got here, our coaches said in the first team meeting, every Friday we're gonna have a celebration rehearsal. And that's just off of, like I said, I keep saying standard, the word standard, like we have to expect to take the ball away. And when we can, we've earned our right to do that. And if we're not getting turnovers, then we're not gonna be able to do any celebrations. So it was a two-way street for me. I'm like, the fans will push back. If you have a bad week, they'll be like, oh, where are the celebrations at this week? Next week we come back with 2 interceptions. It's like, all right, here it is.
Is there any rules to that?
What can you celebrate?
I'm about to say interception. You down by 21, but you get a pick.
It was, last year, we called it a thirsty celebration if it was a fumble recovery. And we got it. I'm like, this really didn't take any skill. So I'm like, I just picked the ball up. I just jumped on the ball and got the ball, and I went and did a celebration with Viral for it. I'm like, that was thirsty, but I'm like, we got the ball back. I don't care how you get it. So stuff like tackles and stuff, I'm like, yeah, y'all can have that. But anytime we get the ball or we get to rest after, we can go crazy on the celebration because we know we're off the field. So a third down stop, we might progress to that. third down stop. We're doing a celebration.
That's a big play.
Do a backflip after a third down stop.
So you was talking about, getting everybody together and leading, spoken like a real choreographer. Like what's the process in recruiting the guys? Or is like everybody free game? Or even sometimes do they come up to you like, yo, what you got?
It took time. The first part of the year, until I did my Usher celebration, and that went viral. Once everything started going viral, they're like, okay, what are we going to do? My boy Josh Metellus, he's always been on board, like, since day one. Great
player, too.
So the fact that we were together, like, watching film, calling out, okay, this is my interception for the week, this is my interception for the week, we had that mindset to where, okay, now everybody's jumping on board. Okay, what are we going to do with the whole team? What are we going to do? Just DBs. If these 4 guys get it, what are we going to do? So we always had, like, a plan. And everybody, I literally think it brought the team together. And I think that's why we were so good on defense, because we were, one, expecting to make plays, but also just the time that we were spending together to learn the defense, but also be able to learn, as simple as it is, learning dances and everything. Like, it's goofy. It sounds crazy.
Lunch away from the stadium?
Nah, we do it just group chat, send a video, and then we practice for like 10 minutes on the Saturday right before the game. The day before the game, and it was quick. It's like we put in a defense at halftime. We're expected to learn a defense at halftime if we have to make adjustments. So for us to learn a dance, everybody thinks we're taking hours a week. Right. I'm like, this is 10 minutes. Send it in a group chat a few days earlier, watch it a few times, just like when you're installing a defense. Yeah. You watch it on film one time, you got to be able to run it. So same thing for us.
Like RC was talking about the transition, right? With everything that was going on with your wife, having a new baby, the new deal, having to relocate to a new city, new team, meet a lot of new people, have you had time just for yourself?
I would say yes, sir. I think my time overseas.
Yes, sir. Now you acting like them.
Yeah,
well, when he said 40, I looked at him because I was like,
God damn, Cam.
That sounded way too big. I don't even know where that came from. I don't even know where that came from.
When you said we're 40, and like, I was like, who?
Look how he's sitting, like he got gout over there.
What?
I don't know where that came from.
Cam, literally,
I don't know why I say yes, sir.
This dude's changed so much, Cam. Bro, he used
They
to
mad
be
'cause
the,
I'm
he used-
trim and slim like
he
you
used to
now.
be the coolest Cam. Now every time you try to eat something, he's like, "You gonna eat that Dairy Queen?" Yes.
You gonna eat that
Fri-
poison? I'm the same way. You gonna poison yourself like that? You hate your body?
real
Okay,
good.
bet.
Yeah, he hate his body.
Yeah, you hate your body.
He hate his body.
But no, I think just the time that to myself, I think is family. For me, I don't like crave time alone specifically. For me, it's serving, and it's me when I'm overseas in the off season, when living in the Philippines. That's really all the time that I need to step back and like
Right.
decompress from everything. Because when I'm over there, it's like I feel like so much more purpose than just myself. To where I'm here, everything's about me. Like my wife's coming to practice for training camp. I get home, spend time, but I'm right back in the film room. Like all that is me time, and I enjoy that. So it's not like I'm not decompressing, but
Right.
this whole half of the year in season is so much. Everything's literally revolving around me to the point where when I'm in the off season, I'm just in full serving mode. So I think
Right.
that's the time of like, you know, when I signed with the Colts, I was in the Philippines, or not when I signed, but during free agency, I was out there. So it was like, okay, it's cool to be able to have that moment. Like, you know, I changed my life, whatever. But for me, it was like, okay, now I'm somewhere else, being able to enjoy this moment with my family, with my friends, and everybody out there. So I think being not in the U.S. around football has been like, that's my time to decompress and really have the time to be a real person.
Bro, I ain't never been to the Philippines, but we travel abroad, different places. My wife's Cuban and going to them different places.
Right.
Does that make you look at like the world different? Because when I started traveling, being from Atlanta, living in Miami, and now going abroad made me look at the world totally different.
For sure, that changed my perspective on everything. Really, just put real problems or real life into perspective. Like, because I never really traveled until I got to the league. Like my first thing I did, my first off season, me and my mom, we went just to the top of Europe and we just went on the map and we're like, all right, we're gonna hit this country. We hit 9 countries in one off season. So that started just my whole standard of, you know, changing my life, being able to see things. And as soon as I traveled that first time, then I was like, all right, yeah, I'm not living here in the U.S. the whole year. And I love being here in the U.S., but just seeing the different life change of being able to live somewhere overseas half the year and being able to be in the NFL half the year, it's just the best of both worlds for me. And I think it changed just the way I look at everything, just because, you know, being grateful and just everything we have here, we're so spoiled in a good way. Everything's a blessing, how much we have, but it's like it's a fake life we have. Everything's so convenient. We can buy anything we want, whenever we want. And, you know, we're around so much, you know, just money, being in the NFL. Like whether you have it or not, you're more blessed than the average person. So being able to live overseas for me just showed me really everything I need to know about myself of like, okay, I can't come back. I can't complain about anything.
Yeah.
It makes me love the game more. It makes me just love everything. So when I come here, I'm super grateful. And when I'm there, I'm grateful too. So traveling has really changed my life.
I can't get a beer 24/7. That shit got to me.
Like,
Bro,
what's going on?
7-Eleven at, bro? I want some wine. Like everything's closed.
Yeah.
Bro, that shit
They
is
close.
different.
They don't work 24/7. It's like people actually have time with themselves, but that's the thing. It's like convenience.
Yeah.
You realize like it's so nice being in the U.S., being able to have everything on our fingertips, but also when you're there, it's like, okay, now I'm grateful that when I get to go back home, I got Amazon, I got Uber Eats, everything, DoorDash. But it, like you said, it just changed your life. It changed my life, like being able to go see the world and to see that there's more to it than just this football stuff.
Yeah. You know, you're the first person that we've ever done a show with where people just kind of walk through the show. So that's you know what I mean? I love the fact that you were able to stay on task. Cam, there's a true joy in your voice, in your face, in your smile. And I think being able to travel and being a little more worldly gives you a great perspective.
Right.
After what you and your wife went through to be together here in the States, man, talk about being able to have a baby and start your own family here after fighting so hard to be with one another.
Yeah, it's just a full circle moment. Just being able to see like our road that we had. It was tough going through it, and we enjoyed it going through because we knew God was gonna work something for good. Even though we didn't see like the end of it, it's like we were just going through the whole process and like, dang, when is it gonna be the end? But now looking back at it, it's like, wow, we have a baby now. We have bought a house out here, and it's my first time being like a homeowner, living in my home while I'm in the NFL. And it's just so cool just being able to look back at the whole process and look at the struggle that we had, at all the highs and the lows, and to be like, okay, wow, now we We have our own little family. Everybody's always talked about going to training camp, and it's always been my dream to have my kid running on the field and taking pictures with my wife and my kid after a training camp practice. And now I'm like, okay, 5 years into this NFL stuff, I'm able to finally do it. Just a full circle moment. And I'm just grateful just for the hard time that we had going through that whole process, because now it's like we can get through anything, going through what we went through with the visa process and getting her to the U.S. and just the long distance we had to go through. Now it's like, everything is cool. I don't remember the last time I've had a bad day, just off of just me being just so grateful. And I think that's really built both of us to where, even small little road trips, going to joint practice in Baltimore or traveling, I'm like, that's nothing. We used to do months at a time apart. I used to have to travel there on bye week and fly across the world, just get 2 days to go hang out. Like, just stuff like that just made everything so much easier. And like we talked about, perspective is everything. So now I'm like, everything's cool.
You made a baby in 2 days?
Possibly. Could have been shorter. Who knows?
It don't take 2 days. It don't take 2 days.
A few minutes.
Now you made me forget what I wanted to ask you, man.
He didn't see his wife and now a baby coming. Like, goodness gracious. Boy, you working.
The math, it made sense.
And not only that, I know he's the pocket watcher, right? On this show. You see
No
him?
shame.
You seen him?
I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to have new teammates. I'm glad for 60. Yeah, I'm glad.
I'm looking at the cleats. Those chrome hearts. What kind of cleats
These
are
are
those?
the Justin Jefferson Under Armour cleats.
I
got
see
them for
like
free.
some stones
I'm
and
still
some
cheap at the end of the
diamonds.
day, but Jets put some diamonds on to where they look like designer, but
That's
they're
what
Under Armour.
when you
They're
have
smooth.
about 400 tackle, eight picks. That's what it do for you, huh?
That's what we did. I finally got signed to Under Armour, so I'm like, free stuff now.
Hey, free
We
stuff.
good.
So are you?
I ain't gotta pay.
What's your game like? RC's known more of a hitter, the guy who rewrote the NFL rules.
Right.
Right.
In some ways.
He's knocked
Yeah,
a
it's all
lot
your
of people
fault.
out.
Yeah.
It's all your fault.
And that's why I said it was time for me to go. I ruined the game. I'm gonna roll out. Yeah.
Right. You great hand,
Does it all.
hand skills, cover guy. You can obviously tackle well. What's your game though? Like what's your greatest attributes though? I guess as a safety.
I say I'm a technician. I think everything that because I played corner my whole life until I got to the NFL. So they called me when they were drafting me, said, we're going to turn you into a safety. I've never played a snap of safety in a game, ever.
Wow.
But my biggest thing at corner, coming from how I grew up, slower than everybody, smaller than everybody, I found a coach, Coach Anthony Brown, that still trains me to this day. He said, I don't care how slow you are. I don't care if you're not athletic. We're going to turn you into a technician. You're going to learn how to stay square. You're going to have good eye discipline. You're going to be able to stay in your weave, like little certain things like that. You're not going to open up and run because that's what the fast guy wants you to do, that you're going against. So that was my foundation. So now when I'm in the NFL, my biggest thing is technique. There's so many guys that if you try and out-athlete them, I'll lose every time. We're defense, we're starting backwards. They know what they're doing, we're not. But if I'm using my technique and really being smart, I think that's one thing that I pride myself on, and that's why I'm able to make plays. I'm not faster than 90% of the receivers out there, but I can cover like a corner, still being in the NFL, being a safety. I can still have, that background that I had playing corner my whole life. Now I'll be able to bring my smarts to be able to play safety, be able to cover a slot, cover tight ends easy. And really that's my whole makeup is all based off of my technique.
Right.
Cam, you play, you mentioned Jettas, and after Jamar's Triple Crown year, there's been this whole argument, right?
Yeah.
Who's the best wide receiver
Yeah.
in football? I've been seeing them both since high school. I went to LSU, I live in Louisiana, and they're both tremendous. After watching Justin every single day, you get to see him in practice, and what does make Justin Jefferson so special, and do you believe he's the best receiver in football?
I believe he's the best, and I don't care if it's biased or not. What I've seen from him in a game and what I've seen from him outside. We'll pause that.
What's up, brother?
Just sneak on in, huh?
Hey, boy, what's up, baby? Good. For sure. Looking good.
Big
Nah,
ass,
you good.
what you sneaking around
Hey,
for?
He walking slow.
Hey, then he was moving slow too.
Like, he's too big to be walking that slow.
Yeah, he was moving slow like a turtle. But
as he
like,
can
we
to
see
show
you.
it, no.
But honestly though, do you believe he's the best? And I guess again, why? Just kind of reset it. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe he's the best in the league. Just what I've seen him do in practice, but also consistently in the game, no matter who's throwing him the ball. And I don't even want to compare him. Like, whoever people are going to say is the best, I look at his game, and I don't see a weakness in his game, and that's like probably the biggest thing. And what separated him from me coming out of college and being drafted, going to Minnesota, first thing I was observing, okay, who are the superstars and how do they practice? And that was like my first thing I was paying attention to when I got there. And one thing about Jets is like he practices hard every single day. He's going like every single route, no indicators, everything. He's going full speed on routes on air. Going against him, he's going full speed no matter who you are. And just everything that you want to see from a superstar that you imagine a superstar to be. I got to the league and realized, okay, not every superstar is practicing like this.
Yeah.
But he's practicing like that. And that was like the craziest thing that I've seen, like being there as a rookie. Okay, I'm like, okay, it's only his second year in the league. He's not, he's still popular. But going in year 5, year 4, year 5 for him, being his teammate year after year, like, okay, he hasn't switched up. He's still practicing hard, still going crazy in practice. And it was just one of those things that had us on our A game every single day on defense. But being able to go against him made us better. And just seeing him, what he does, like day after day, down after down, I'm like, yeah, I don't think anybody can be this good.
Yeah. With the way you work, and reading your story and just also knowing that you weren't a big kid growing up, right? You've already talked about, okay, if I'm not as athletic, I had to learn to do these different things. How much focus do you put on building a schedule of whether it's work, study, treatment, in order to compete at a high level on game day?
Yeah, I think my routine is insane, whether it's extra work, every single day. Like people say, like being durable, your availability is your best ability. And that's one thing that I've been able to do my whole career. I've been able to stay healthy, thank God, but it's all based off my routine. I'm doing extra work after practice to the point where practice isn't the hardest thing I'm doing every single day. But every single day I'm touching the field, I'm getting my body worked on. So there's never a day that I'm working this much and doing all this extra work, all the extra lifts and everything, that I'm not working on my body after practice, because I'm like, okay, if I want to be able to last 17 games like I have been, plus playoffs, like I got to take care of that myself. So for me, my routine really makes me comfortable going into game day to be elite. And I think if I'm not perfect with my routine, I won't feel comfortable going into the game. So I feel like every single thing that I do throughout the week, all the extra work, every single day after practice, I'm gone till about 9 p.m. every single day. And
like me.
I hate it for my wife, but she understands the game, and she understands, okay, these 17 weeks, this is his schedule that he needs to focus on to be able to feed the family. And thankfully I come home and there's food on the table for me, dinner and everything, to where she's a good teammate with that. So I don't feel bad putting in an extra hour of work after practice, plus body work, plus coming home, saying hi and getting in the film and getting in the playbook. So all those things add up to me feeling complete by game day.
Hey, Chan, you be like, you remember Babe, though? Used to be, I only saw you 2 days a year.
Yeah.
Now, I get to see you.
Put that work in. You done watching film?
Rushing you off the iPad.
You better hurry up. Yeah, he one of the few guys that can be like, babe, but look how much time we get compared to what we used to have.
Bro, do you ever play angry? Because you're so like you dance, you're so upbeat, and every time I've seen you, at any moment, in the meeting, you're always smiling.
I'm having fun.
Do you ever play? Hey, he played angry.
Yeah, you played angry.
Do you ever play angry? Like, has anybody ever got to you?
I'm not like that. It's like, for me, being perfect, I get so much satisfaction out of having like a clean rep, to where I'm like, no matter who's talking crazy, I'm like, I just want to be clean. I want to make plays to the point where I'm like, I'm having fun. Like, each play I win is like me smacking somebody or like something like that. So I feel like me being all hyped, I try to, turn up music and headphones before the game. I'm like, that's not me. I be listening to Brian McKnight before games, be chilling. I be vibing like to the point where like I just don't play angry. But that's not my game, because I want to be able to have fun, be so comfortable out there where I feel like it's practice. If I'm not angry during practice, I'm like, why am I angry in a game? Yeah. It should be the same. My routine is going to be the same. My mindset's going to be the same. So for me, I'm out there having fun. Like, game days are my reward for the week. Like, I'm so serious and so locked in during the week to where, I walk around, like, people in the facility might see me. Yeah, I'm smiling and everything, but I'm like so focused. Yeah. But game day, I'm like a little kid in a candy store running around, having fun, turning up the crowd. Like, that's me earning my right to have fun on the field.
No one's ever challenged that, Cam? Like, no one's ever been like, hey, man, like, lock in, or
Nah.
It's game day. Like,
Because they see my focus. So it's like, they see during the week, like how much time I put in and how much work to where there's never a question that, okay, I'll never be not prepared for game day. So it's like, and people know, like, I'm just happy, chilling. I'm chill. So it's like, what am I going to crash out for? I'm going to pick the ball off still.
Right, you guys broke camp today, officially, right?
Yeah.
How excited are you to be able to go sleep in your own bed? You got a house already?
I got a house that's a few minutes from where we do training camp here, so I'm actually mad about camp being done. Now I got to drive 35 minutes to the other facility, but but no, it's cool being able to go back home now and finally lock in on my routine and not be at the hotel, so I can finally get my Pilates schedule going, get my extra work, just everything to where being able to have the same schedule the rest of the year. Now I'm able to lock in because the last few weeks being in training camp, you know how busy the schedule is. It's hard to really add anything to the, we're here from morning to nighttime to 8 p.m. So now that I'm able to add what I need to my schedule, now I'm going to feel like, okay, now I can progress even more with my game and, have more time to work on my game. So I'm excited for camp to be over.
Cam, come on now. I'm sure you want to progress your game. You've been in camp and at the hotel.
Oh, Lord.
For this long.
Talk to me. I know
And you going home tonight, and you worried about Pilates?
That's a form of Pilates?
Couples Pilates. It's in the basement.
He gonna get his stretching
in the basement.
Oh, okay, yeah. Go get a sibling over there, man.
Trust me. I'm married, so I'm comfortable talking about this. We good.
You're in a good spot.
But no, I go home and relax a little. After the game, save my legs today, but after the game,
you sound like the boxers you be talking to. They be like, man, I got my
He
fight.
stopped his style, but what you be doing?
save my legs.
I just lay sideways sometimes. I'm old.
He's so unserious, dog. He's so unserious.
I love it.
For you, man, as this is progressing, though, like we all set goals. And I was talking to Zaire earlier, and we were just talking about how your goals evolve, right? When you come in as a 4th-round pick that's being moved to safety, there's a goal of learning the position. Then I want to become a starter. Now I want to become an impact player. Now you get here and you're a leader. What are some of the goals you have set for yourself as you now come to Indianapolis and try to establish yourself here?
My biggest goal here, starting off, like it's gonna go through waves. My first chunk of time here, biggest goal, get to know the guys. Because I can't do anything else if I'm not close with my teammates, especially me coming in and them looking at me as a leader and me trying to be a leader. Like my first goal is to get to know everybody on a deeper level than just football. So that happened, OTAs and everything, that's just natural. But now that training camp is coming to an end, becoming a captain and just being somebody where people can look to when we need an answer on the defense, on the team, and not even through football, just with the energy and just, just keeping everything on point in football. Then on top of that, just being the best in the league. Like that's one thing that I go through. Like people would ask me, who's the best in the league? And as a competitor, you're always going to say yourself. But I'm like, I got to have numbers to back it up. I got to be real. So it's like, for me, I believe I'm the best, one of the best in the league every single year, but it's like, I got to do more to show it because I can't go out in public and say that until I'm showing people consistently taking the ball away, making every tackle, just being one of the best football players, standing out on tape every single week. So for me, it's just being a standout player to the point where I can help my team on and off the field to where we're winning games because of me and me, the way I communicate, we're winning games, the way I lead, the way I practice, where everything is elevating every single thing around me to the point where you see an instant impact of when I got to the Colts, this program changed. Yeah. And I want to be somebody that changed the program based off of, how I treat people first and foremost, but the way they see me work, the way my routine, my, just intentionality, just every little thing that I'm doing. I'm like, I want to leave an impact bigger than football. I want people being on an interview years later, be like, Cam Bynum, he was one of the best teammates I've had. He's one of the hardest workers. He helped me out. He spoke life to me, and he elevated the team. And that's my biggest goal moving forward, going through this whole time in Indianapolis.
Speaking of teammates, AR came into the interview and our sit down. You have an opportunity. Obviously, Anthony Richardson, Daniel Jones. How have you seen them progress through camp? And is there anything you can do from your point of view to try to help those guys as they move through?
I think the best thing I can do is compete the best I can against them. Be able to put the defense in good positions to be able to make plays against them so they can see, okay, this is what I need to get better at. If we're not playing well on defense, we're not giving them a good look and we're not helping them, doing them a service going into the year. But I think just them being able to compete, it's been such a healthy competition in a good way where I see both of them elevating throughout camp to where one person, they'll both have their days. One may look better than the other on a certain day, but throughout camp, when you look at it, both of them have progressed. And now going through it, it's like on defense, we're like, we don't care who the starter is. We trust both of them to be able to go out and carry this team where we want to be. And we know, the course of football, you never know who's going to be in the game. So you trust whoever's there at quarterback, but we're doing our job on defense to be able to go and compete against them and give them the toughest looks they can get every single day.
They say Lou ain't messing around.
He's not playing at all.
That's my guy.
It's cool. I love Lou first and foremost because he's coaching everybody. The superstars in the room, people that have been paid well.
Yeah.
If you're a rookie, it doesn't matter. He's coaching us all the same. I've gotten yelled at by Lou already. The young guys have, and that's one thing that I want from any coach that's coaching me, especially being our DC, is being able to hold us accountable.
Right.
And just, the mindset that he has on defense, being able to be aggressive and be able to, just keep the offense guessing and keeping us moving forward instead of us just staying back, being passive. I think just his mindset as a person and what he does on the field and the defense that he dials up, that's something that, I'm fully behind everything he's going to be having us do this year, and especially as a person, the fact that he's holding us accountable, that's the most I can ask, especially, I'm coming in here as a free agent. Some people may be slow to coach me and talk to me in a crazy way. I'm like, no, you need to coach me hard. If you see I'm being stagnant, not making enough plays, I literally told him a few days ago, I haven't made a few plays and it's been a few practices, I haven't made a play. You got to tell me if I'm doing anything where I can progress more or just anything. I'm like, coach me hard. I don't care how much money they pay me. I don't care if I'm new. You got to coach me hard so I can get better. And you keep that same energy through the whole year. Don't take it easy on us because I see us being one of the best defenses in the league, and we can't have that if we have a passive defensive coordinator.
Well, I'm only asking 2 games for y'all not to be great.
What's that?
And then the rest of the year, y'all
Jacksonville.
do y'all thing. That's it.
I'm in
that's
a division
enemy
game.
territory.
That's a division game. We got to go crazy. We
You
got to go
out
crazy.
there, certainly, you got to go out there and do your thing, and so do the other guys, and like everybody else. That's what y'all pull up. That's what they pay y'all for. I don't expect
Facts.
anything less. Jacksonville, they got to do what they're supposed to do, and the best team, the most prepared team is going to win it.
Every time.
Right? So,
Every time.
I just had to throw that out there, though. See where your head was at.
Don't listen to
Just
none of
see
that.
where your
That
head
would
was
have
at.
been money here.
Yeah, don't listen to none of
I
that.
got to get a pick. Now I got to make a play against Jacksonville.
Listening to you talk about being the best, though, individually, but also what you guys were able to create in Minnesota. In 2008, bro, we were on the cover of ESPN magazine. We were the #1 defense in football, and we win the Super Bowl, and we all felt like we lost, right? Because Larry Fitzgerald goes crazy in the fourth quarter. We put ourselves and our team in a position where we could lose. Ben has to bail us out. After having such a successful year last year, and then down the stretch, you have an opportunity to win the North. You don't get that game. Then you get to the playoffs, and Los Angeles is able to play well. What did you learn from starting the season so hot and then not finishing the way you wanted to as a defense?
I think just mainly just staying, our routine and everything, nothing changed as far as our process and everything. But you just mentally, you have to go through that long game. I could feel looking back at it now, it kind of felt like we put so much into that Lions game because it was both of us were, I forget our records, 14-2.
Yeah, y'all could have went
It
to
was,
we
we were fighting for that 1 seed. It's where we put everything into that and didn't look past. And obviously we shouldn't have looked past any games past that game because it's 1 week at a time. But I felt like we put so much into that specific game emotionally to the point where the game after that was okay, now it's almost like a letdown of energy. That was our Super Bowl. And now when it really mattered in the playoffs the week after that, we kind of had a lapse in I wouldn't even say in our work ethic or anything, but just going into the game, you felt more flat than it usually did.
Yeah.
And that's just hindsight looking back at it now.
I was there, yeah.
Looking back at it now, and that's how I feel. You couldn't tell me that we didn't prepare as hard as we possibly could, or going into the game we felt low or felt flat. But looking back at it now, it just felt like the energy that we put into that Lions game, if we were able to sustain that the weeks after that, our team would have played way better and just moved forward a lot better than what we did. But like I said, our process and everything was great. It was just one of those things where, looking back at it now, I can tell that we didn't play the long game as well as we should have.
When you are black and anything else in America, you're seen as a black man.
Right.
Right. And the way that you have held on to your Filipino heritage, to me, is so inspiring because, like, those are all parts of you.
Right.
And you get to represent that in a stage where that's not represented as much as it is being a black man. Right. How have you been able to stay so connected to that part of you, even though that hasn't been your everyday?
Going to the Philippines did everything for me. Like, I grew up around like all my Filipino family and my black side. So like my dad's side, being the African-American side, and my mom's side, I was able to spend a lot of time with both of them. So it was always like, you know, a lot of people may see it as like an identity crisis of not knowing what I am. For me, but for me, it was like my superpower. Like, I'm able to go have family. You know, we're having the cookout, but we're also having the Filipino food up in the Bay Area with my Filipino family. So it was always cool being able to bring people around both sides of my family, and that being like something that I really took pride in. So once I was able to go to the Philippines and realize how big of a deal it was, like for me, it was Manny Pacquiao. He's like a guy that really gave me pride about being Filipino, and like seeing what he did just for the whole country, like being one of the, in my opinion, the greatest ever. But also being somebody that was giving back to his country, doing everything that I aspired to do from a young age, and seeing him do it and how big of a deal it was for people just being Filipino and seeing somebody, you know, represent. So it was cool for me to do the same thing on my stage, even though it's not as, my stage isn't as grand as his was worldwide. But for me, being a football player, having a simple things like waving a flag after a game and just being able to represent something, it's just so touching for me, just being able to know that people are really like looking at it for inspiration and looking at me for inspiration. I think just going through the whole process, that's what I realized, like a little act of just representing somebody that may not be seen is doing so much. And just like you said, being black and Filipino, like me living in America and being able to represent both is so cool for me. And I think a lot of people, you know, I get a lot of messages, are you forgetting you're black? But it's like, no, I'm me, and I'm able to represent both sides, and I'm able to be proud about both sides. And me playing football, living in America and everything, like we see so much, and everything I do is representing America also, and also being able to do the Philippines. It's just so cool being able to, you know, represent two things, but bring pride to just everything.
I love that, man.
So it's cool.
I think he's the biggest pivot candidate, by the way, even though it's not a tour question for NT.
Yeah, it's hard to be on training camp tour, but we ask it anyway, right?
Yeah.
We always ask our guests what their biggest pivot is. That's that one moment in life you can look back on and say, because this happened for me or to me, I am who I am today.
It's easy for me to say the whole situation with my wife, but I was already in the NFL, and then, you know, it was just a matter of time for that to happen, and it was a tough situation. But for me, I think my biggest pivot moment was I was good in youth football. Everything was going well for me. Then I get sophomore year, transferred to a different high school, like one of the best high schools in California. And, you know, I was good my freshman year at this other private school I went to. Then I get to this school, and I'm fifth string on JV my sophomore season. And
what school is it?
Corona Centennial.
Oh, wow.
So we were playing Mater Dei, Bosco, all those boys. So I was fifth string on JV my sophomore year. You know, all my friends are getting college scholarships sophomore year, and I'm sitting the bench, not even playing in JV games. Wow. And I think the biggest pivot moment was for me when I met the coach I mentioned, Anthony Brown.
Right.
He came up to me. He was my 7-on-7 coach with Ground Zero 7-on-7. And I got beat. I'll tell you, in one tournament, like 5 touchdowns in one game. He went up to my dad. I need to see your son at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. I see something in him. I think I can get him to college. Mm-hmm. And that's me being, you know, probably like 5, maybe 5'1", 5'2", 90-something pounds in sophomore year. Maybe 100 pounds. Maybe 100. Yeah. I've probably touched 100 pounds. But that was my moment when Coach Brown found me, and I showed up 5 a.m. and his daughter was with him, and she saw me training. She's like, "Dad, this guy's trash." Like, she was keeping it real. And Coach said, as long as he keeps showing up, I'm going to keep showing up. Wow. We go through the whole high school, going from fifth string on JV, and every day, 5 a.m., like, I'm talking 5 days a week, every single day. Before school, I show up, go to practice at school, come back after school, work out with him again, and just time after time, day after day, going in from that end of sophomore year, I'm starting varsity, going into junior year. And that was my foundation of becoming a technician, like I mentioned, but just me being able to really just put my mind to something and have no doubt in myself that if I put the work in, like I never had a question, even when I was fifth string JV, that I'd be sitting in this chair playing for an NFL team, being, you know, in my opinion, one of the best safeties in the league, and just being able to be here. I never had a doubt about that because I knew that I'm willing to put the work in. Right. And for me, that was my pivot moment when Coach talked to my dad, and I hated I was mad at my dad, like, dang, I hate Coach. Like, why would you say yes to this? But for me, I was like, that was the best decision that he made me do, but also me saying yes to the grind also. And like I said, we went every single day for years and even training with him to this day. And that's been the biggest moment of my life that brought me to this point, built my foundation.
Man, this is something I really wanted to do, man. Thank you so much for your time, especially in this setting. Yeah. I know it's difficult, man. That was just...
It's an honor.
Engaging to listen to, though, man. But, like, you are impossible to not cheer for. Man, I wish you the best. Do your thing.
Thank you guys.
Even against them and Pittsburgh. I ain't tripping.
Always. Do his thing.
Appreciate you.
Everybody that. I want you to do your thing.
Nah, that was good, man. Thank you so much, man.
Nah, appreciate y'all. Nah, for real. It's an honor. It was crazy. It's a God thing. Like, the fact I was in the Philippines and all my friends were like, hey, you gotta reach out to the pivot, try to get on the show. That's like the biggest thing. Literally the day after you hit me up, I'm like, y'all wouldn't believe this. Like, it was crazy. So it was just so cool that I was able to get on with you guys.
Only one thing from the show though. You don't have to call me Mister. I'm just Freddie T. I'm Fred T.
Hey, no, I said sir. He said, I didn't say Mister. Mister's a different level. I don't know why I said sir.
I was messing with you the whole time.
Hold up, limitless. Take a stomach, got a pin in it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling got me up. On the mission got me up. Knowing me, I got the key. On this vision I can trust. Limitless. Take a stomach, got a pin in it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling got me up.